Hundreds of Gauteng residents who've been displaced, as a result of the floods that occurred earlier this month in Tshwane are still living at church and community halls around Mamelodi. The Gauteng Provincial Government, together with the disaster relief agencies, are currently providing immediate assistance in the form of blankets and food parcels to those affected. Let's go live to our reporter Anina Peens, who's in Mamelodi. Anina, a very good morning to you. It's been a few weeks that residents have been living in this manner, and of course we know that the impact of the recent floods was detrimental to many who lost their homes and had to be displaced. Now talk us through exactly what you've encountered in your interactions with those living in those situations.
Good morning, Paul, and to the viewers. Yes, we are here in Mamelodi. We found some of the residents here at the Baptist Church in Mamelodi West. There are some of them are also living in other community centres, but most of these people have gone home to their respective homes across the country, and there are about 300 left, which is also still a fair amount of people who are displaced. They cannot return to where they come from, although the pastor has just told us that some of the people are actually rebuilding their houses as we speak on the area where it actually flooded on the 9th of December, and that's also since when they've been here is 9 December, and it's been close to a month now that they've been living here, and the pastor says it's actually quite chaotic at night. At the beginning there was about 490 people in this church, and now nightly there's about 300. So in the daytime they do go out, so there's not a lot of people here at the moment, but when it comes to the evening and they have to come and eat and bath, it is chaotic. Can you imagine that they only have the church's bathroom, the church's toilet facility to use, and the 300 people sharing that to bath at night must be quite busy. They also use the urn that they use in the kitchen for tea that they make on Sundays for patrons to use as bath water. So there's not actually a lot of hot water for the children to bath. There is a lot of children, yes, small children. Pastor said that the children ask their parents every day, but when are we going home? When are we going to be back home? When are we going to take a proper shower, mommy? You know, I mean, it's actually quite a sad situation here this side in Paul.
Now, you speak about the numbers. You say there's roughly 300 people. You've described the situation with the many children in that hall. But we know that the holiday season will come and go, and the other people who have left that hall will return to Gauteng and want to resume with their ordinary lives. What is the long-term plan when it comes to making sure that these people are returned to their homes? What do we know so far?
Well, they are waiting for government to allocate new land. That has not been made clear yet where this land is going to be. They cannot return to where they come from. The land where they come from, where the shacks have flooded also in 2017. So this is not the first time this happened. So obviously that land is not conducive for humans to live there. So they have to be moved, and a government will make available land, but we don't know when. Whether these people are going to come back in January, those who are coming from their homeland, when they're going to come back, and whether they are going to have land available to rebuild. And also the fact is that where are they going to get the money to rebuild their new houses? The pastor said to me that these people are very needy and that they do not have money to rebuild their houses. So they're waiting for people, sponsorships, people from the community, the private sector, businesses in the area to help these people to rebuild their homes. But they don't even know where they're going to go yet. So they're waiting here, and they also told us that, you know, they don't even look forward to Christmas. It's like they have no excitement for the festive season. All they can think about is, where's my child going to go at the beginning of January when the school starts? Am I going to have a house where my children can live, where they can go to school living a normal life, or am I going to sit in this church bathing with 300 people at night and sharing food? That is the biggest concern at the moment, is where are we going to go? There's no clear answer for these people of where they're going to be located to. We will will go later to go and speak to people who have decided that they're just going to rebuild their homes on the land where they're not supposed to. But that's also a sense of desperation. Now they're coming back to the church to tell these people who are living here, please come back, please come and rebuild your shacks where we come from, because then it forces government to bring the food and aid to the area. But that's not going to happen because government said to them, you are not allowed to rebuild you. But that's a sense of desperation. They maybe just want their home back for Christmas. It's actually quite concerning to think that these people aren't even looking forward to Christmas. And also the church has to carry on Sunday, on Christmas Day. We don't know whether that will happen. The pastor says they're just going to continue with the people living in the church. They're going to go forward with services.
Now, Anina, besides the physical aspect of those residents trying to rebuild their physical structures, how far is the process in them rebuilding on another term where they need to get access to their ID documents and other important paperwork that could have been lost in those floods?
Yes. At the moment, as we speak, there's a queue of people in the foyer of the church filling out a register. Each person has to fill out name, amount of children, family members, and then saying, okay, what have I lost in the flood? And, they say that most of them have lost everything. Everything. Can you imagine losing everything, even your Bible? So they have to start from scratch. So there are some community leaders here as well as the pastor helping them to identify what they've lost and the steps to be taken to regain that, and government has to come in. The pastor said that, when the government comes here, so some of the government officials were here yesterday in black suits walking to the church. These children look at these men and go, yeah, our answers, yes, our survival. So these people, help them. I also asked, but why do you go back to the area where it's going to flood? And they say, well, we've been waiting for houses since 1995. Where are we supposed to go? So we built here because we have nowhere to go. We're still waiting for houses. So government has to come up and come to the party, Paul.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Really heart-wrenching story that is. Of course, we will continue to keep you updated on the developments around that matter. Hundreds of Gauteng residents are still living, have been displaced following the floods that we saw earlier this month, where scores of homes were destroyed.